What up?
Hey guys!
So, welcome to the...
Do or Die Art Exhibition.
Whoa, do or die? That's pretty intense.
I guess you can say that it comes off as intense, but if you think about it, it could actually mean like the experiences we have when we feel a certain sense of suffering or agony, and in those times you feel like you have to cling to any sort of little smidge of hope that you have. So I feel like it's really relatable to what we have right now, especially concerning the hellish present and the very unpredictable future.
I agree. Our current situation is pretty messy, to say the least. The world is in despair. People are getting sick and dying all over the place. But despite all of that, we're still pushing through. We're clinging on to that little spark of hope. And as unlikely as it may be, we believe that there is a way that we can make it through this. There's a way that we can resolve this. And as long as we have that hope and that belief that someday this will all be over and we'll get to live our lives normally, everything will be just fine. And I think that fits perfectly with the theme for this art fest, which is Do or Die.
Wow, Darell, you're gonna put me to tears. I could not put it in a better way. So, without further ado, let us start this 2021 art exhibition with the theme Do or Die.
Let's go!
First of all, I'd like to mention how it's inspired by a work of poetry titled No Flowers Bloom Without Wavering. It circulates around elements of longing and desperation. In my artwork itself, I painted a vase of flowers. Specifically, they're peonies and roses, which symbolize striving for admiration, honor, and refinement in the midst of immense pressure and exhaustion. I created this artwork in around 3 days, and it attempts to depict how a goal that seemed too far to reach at first for one eventually creates the sense of determination, where one self is led to believe that the end result of a long period of suffering would be much more beautiful, much lovelier, and more delightful. And that image of a success at the end, I expressed it using flowers, successfully bloomed flowers as a metaphor, and thus the theme Do or Die is in action. Thank you.
So this work shows my expression of my desire or longing to move freely and do a lot of stuff that are restricted right now. And the process of making this artwork took about 2 months, more or less. And my choice of material that I used is digital art. I made this with Procreate, and the piece that I made is in montage style or photo montage. I got this inspiration from Andy Warhol, and this artwork process starts from making a composition of pictures that shows the feeling and the expression of agitation, restless, to move, like you just want to break out from the restriction, and it represents the do or die feeling somehow. Then after that, I responded to be more expressive with my scribbles. So sometimes it's about pulling a line or adding another element to it.
Okay, so first to react, which is the title of my artwork, explains about how the Royal Air Force pilots were the first in the fight when the air raid sirens were on. They were the first ones to react when Britain was attacked from the air. The media I used was digital because it's much easier to color instead of pencils and crayons, and I printed on an A3 size. The short description of the artwork is very deformed-looking pilot with a very strong frown. Believe it or not, the pilot does actually have a name. His name is Eddie, and the deformed look on him was actually on purpose. The inspiration I got was from a song by Iron Maiden called Aces High. In this song, the band tells about a story of a pilot who was racing to his plane to take off and to fight off the enemy and to protect Britain. Eddie is a mascot of Iron Maiden, and he has appeared in most of the song covers or album covers by Iron Maiden. I also got the inspiration from the song cover of Aces High, which is similarly Eddie in a cockpit of a plane. The time it took to do this, it took a very long time, but I'm pretty sure we had like 3 weeks to do before we have to submit it to school. Something I didn't like about the artwork was the color of the sky, because I've been trying to decide what color it should be, what color is best, but then I decided to match it with the retro sun in the background.
So, for those who don't know, salvation means the perseverance or deliverance from harm, ruin, or loss. So, basically, what I'm trying to convey in my artwork is that sinners can either repent for their sins and go to heaven, they can do it, or they can die and go to hell instead. So, that's basically the meaning of my artwork. As for the media that I'm using, it is digital media. The reason why is because, first of all, I'm from the digital art talent program, and second of all, I'm testing the waters. I'm trying out new medias, and I want to experiment more, which is why I use the digital art media. Usually, I use charcoal to draw my drawings. So this is pretty different from me because there are new techniques that I can try. So yeah. And as for a short description of my artwork, it's just depicting a nun holding a cross, and there are some wings decorations. As for my inspiration, I saw when I was scrolling through Instagram, I saw an artist that I really look up to, and I really like his drawings. So I try to copy the way he draw things. I try to copy his composition in my drawing, and overall, I just how I'm inspired. I'm just inspired by that artist. That artist is Mayo Nayama, by the way, if you want to check out on Instagram. And as for the process, how I do this artwork, first of all, I do a rough sketch, and then I just directly paint over it. I'm not somebody who likes to use line arts, so I just paint over it, and any additions I just paint over it. Yeah, that's basically it. But it takes a really long time to do this piece of artwork. It took me 28 hours to complete this artwork. On and off, of course, not directly in one go. It took me several days to finish this artwork and 28 hours in total. As for self-critic that I can give to myself, well, I want to fill in the background because I think the background is screaming empty, and I really want to add some things to the background, but I think it's already good enough on its own. I do wish that I can add some backgrounds though, add something on the background so that it's not as empty. But yeah, that's all for my interview. Thank you everyone for listening.
This artwork is supposed to fit with the theme that is do or die, and it shows the do in this case, which is a doctor, and the die, which is supposedly an anti-masker. And these two people over here are the manifestations of their mentality, which is why the doctor has this kind of like witch doctor looking character and has the ability to like cure people and whatnot. And then the anti-masker has a figure that resembles the virus because that's sort of his mentality. He's like, he makes people sick and he convinces people that it's okay and whatnot. I made this on a basic canvas with acrylic paint because I feel like it would really set the mood for what I wanted, what I want the artwork to be, and it fits the theme that I'm going for. So basically, like I said, the anti-masker and the doctor, and then these are their stands, which is what they're called, and they are the manifestation of their mentalities and what they do for a living, and their abilities are also correlated with that. As for inspiration, this is very obviously inspired by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I chose that because not only is it one of my favorite series, but also because we are going through some bizarre times ourselves, and you know, that kind of fits the theme. As for the process, I basically drew it on a piece of paper, I moved it onto the canvas, I painted over that, and it took me about a month and a half, I'd say, which isn't very long. And as for the things that I feel like I could have done better in this artwork is I didn't quite capture everything that I tried to, because JoJo's is known for its really crazy poses with the characters and its simple color scheme, and I didn't really quite capture that with this, which is quite disappointing. But overall, I'm very happy with this piece, and I'm very proud to showcase it in this year's Art Fest. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Ella from 9Y, and I create this artwork. I create this artwork by using clay to create a 3D artwork of a giant Pacific octopus that is wrapping one of its tentacles on a ship. I got inspiration from a drawing I saw about a giant Pacific octopus, and well, this specific artwork shows a situation where you need to choose between staying on the boat, or you need to jump out of the boat and swim near this octopus. I used aluminum foil to create a structure, so well, it can be an octopus. And then I used clay to cover it, and then I finish it off by coloring it and well, give it some texture to look more realistic. And the whole process took about a month. And if I could change something, I would definitely pay more attention to the detail and probably the texture so it could be more realistic.
The title of my artwork is Tempus, Edax, Rerum, which in Latin means time, the devourer of all things. Time is very powerful and that nobody could escape it. Time will devour anything in its way and nothing is able to stop it. So the meaning behind my artwork is that before time comes and get you, you should cherish every second of it. The media and the material I used is graphite pencil because, well, it's the easiest to work with, unlike charcoal, and it's very easy to access. The graphite pencil I used were ranging from 2B to 6B, and the media was A4 paper. In the artwork, there are British soldiers lining up in their trenches about to charge. So, in the foreground is a dead body of a British soldier, which represents how someone so well equipped and capable of fighting couldn't escape death. The inspiration I got was from a poem written by William Shakespeare called Sonnet 19. And in that poem, William Shakespeare explained how time is a powerful being and that not even he could escape it. Shakespeare also pleaded time to not take away his loved one and not even touch a finger on them. So I started doing the foreground first, the dead British soldier. I started doing that first before moving on to the second person in the foreground and then continuously do it until the background. The time it took for creating the artwork is about, it could have been 3 or 4 days, but because of school stuff and assignments and tests, it took a bit longer.
Artwork is where you can see like the giant some sort of monster against this woman holding an injection, and eventually I call this artwork one injection. And you may be asking what the meaning of this artwork is. Well, simply the meaning behind this artwork is simply taking a vaccine to defeat the virus, aka the giant monster that I drew. And other than encouraging people to take the vaccine, also to at least remind people about the danger out there. So with that being said, clearly the inspiration behind the art that I'm talking about is simply the COVID-19 pandemic that we are facing from the year 2020 until 2021, and who knows when this will end eventually. And for what I used and why I used them as my media or material to draw this artwork is I used Paint X. So the artwork, yes, as I said, big monster and with the woman holding the injection. And with that being said, I as well thought of adding like several effects that can make it look more dramatic or cinematic, like those movie scenes that you usually see in the movie, or like a boss level you see in like games. Yeah, and games or movies as well act as an inspiration to my artwork actually. And the poses, I actually took it from this one game trailer, that anime Clash Royale trailer. I took it from there, and if you watch it, you can actually relate and see which scene that I'm inspired from to implement the poses to the artwork. And then, okay, the process and the steps. So the process is basically you just need to gather like an idea or references to your artwork. Well, this is in my opinion, because other people's process or steps to the artwork may be different. So for me, I gather the references, the ideas, and then start the sketch. And then with the sketch being done, I do like some sort of line art, because the sketch can be like messy at first, and then with the line art you can see like the outline, a tidier version of the sketch. And then you start coloring, and the coloring is very complicated. I'm not gonna explain it further, so I'll just say coloring and shading, where the shading is basically just having shadows, lighting, and all that. Okay, and the duration, it's definitely more than 1 day, because I know this digital art project has started like long ago, but still there are barriers in the way, and even me, like even for myself, I can get distracted by multiple things. I'm sure that who's watching this can relate, even my parents. Okay, and self-critic. Number 1 is definitely laziness. Second is definitely procrastination, because definitely I see no other critics to myself for drawing. And also like and also I'm still learning how to draw, so that can also be a self-critic because I haven't mastered fully the knowledge for drawing, because my drawings are pretty simple. So I'm pretty sure the artwork that I'm doing right now is going to turn out simple and not as colorful or full of details as the others, but at least I have a decent result.
So let's start with the meaning of my artwork. My artwork represents someone who has suffered through pain and sadness, but still strives to find happiness, just because they still have that bit of hope. I used the digital method using my tablet and iPad pencil to draw this, and then later I printed it out. I chose this method just because I'm more comfortable using my tablet than using any other traditional supplies. And for the process, I start with the rough sketch of where everything is gonna be. Then I cleaned the rough sketch a bit so it's a little bit more understandable. And then I did the line art and the base coloring. Then I shaded the whole piece and rendered it with details. It took me around 5 until 4 days to finish, and to be honest, I think I should have added a little bit more dramatic effect to the whole piece, just to make the situation more tense and to see what the actual character feels. And my inspiration is that I saw a piece like this a long time ago, but now I can't really find it. I thought about what do and die means, and that sorta mixed in, sorta. That's all. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.
Well, that was one hell of a spectacle. Thanks to all the wonderful artists we have here in our school who have created these incredible pieces of art. Personally, I like them all. I think they were all unique and beautiful in their own way. But moving on from that, we've got a very special performance by none other than the Colossal Vocal and Colossal Dance groups.
Okay, so from what I understand, they're gonna be collaborating
That's right.
on one performance, right? Okay, so without waiting any longer, let's go view it together.
You know, I know, we know what we do deserve, what we have been working hard for. It's time to free ourselves and claim what we've earned. A golden word and cheers for all. Hey, don't hear what others have got to say. All you need in the game is smart play. No need for distracting me, cause I'll always be the good old me. Oh, 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 oh. I will always know who I am and what I'll be. Let loose of the burden and thoughts. Let's make our mark and take what's ours. I don't wanna fall, but I'm taking risks. I know I've come this far, aiming to risk the bar. Whoa, shouldn't miss the opportunities. Nothing's ever fixed, so I'm trying to do what they'll remember for years. For years.
Okay, so that was the performance by Colossal Dance and Vocal. It was amazing. There's a round of applause. Okay, so you might notice now that we're not only showing conventional art forms such as paintings and drawings, but we're also exhibiting dancings and vocal. So we hope that this art exhibition increases the appreciation people have towards Highfield students' talent, you know, in how they express themselves.
Well, looks like that's going to be it for today. We're going to be signing off now, but before the video ends, we've got one last piece of art for you guys in the form of a song created by none other than the band talent program that will play as the credits roll. So we hope you enjoy that, and bye-bye!
I can't seem to let you go, though you're not mine. Don't ask why. Was I ever worth your time? And if I was not, I won't ask why. Far, far away, even in another land, I'm still sure there'll still be no us. But I wish you the best. I hope you're happy here, whatever the choice you make. I hate the way I don't hate you, not even close, not even just a little bit, not even at all. Far, far away, even in another land, I'm still sure there'll still be no us. But I wish you the best. I hope you're happy here, whatever the choice you make.
Hey guys, so this is the crew behind the making of this video. So, and we have a short message for you.
Remember, stay home, stay safe, and wear your mask.
Blackout. Okay.